Alright, this is how you resize your picture for your vape box using Windows Paint. First you gotta find and open your Windows Paint, and then once you get your Windows Paint open, you need to open the file or the picture that you want to resize. So go up to File, Open, and then find the picture. I've got, let's see, desktop. I've got a picture of a motorcycle. I'm going to show you guys resizing. So now that the picture's open, and you can see that this picture is sideways, showing up sideways. So we can go up to Rotate, and we can rotate it left. Now as you can see, this picture is wider than it is tall. So because of the way the screen is laid out on the vape box, this picture I would need to put sideways on the vape box because it's wider than it is tall. So I'm going to go back up to Rotate. I'm going to rotate it one more time to the left, and this picture is going to end up on the vape box sideways. Now so to resize it, we go up to this Resize tab, and you can see on this resize window that it says resize by percentage or pixels. We're going to click pixels. Now you can see that it's 800 by 1200 pixels. We need this to be 240 by 320. 320 is the vertical, the up and down, and 240 is the horizontal, the width. So we want to make sure that there's a check mark by maintain aspect ratio. That'll keep the picture from becoming smushed and stretched. So we're going to take, we know we want the vertical to be 320. So we're going to change this to 320. And because it's maintaining the aspect ratio, it automatically changed the horizontal to 213. Now the screen's width is 240 pixels, and this is only 213. So that's going to end up giving us a black screen for the remaining pixels of the width. So to get around that, we need to crop some of the picture to get it closer to the 320 by 240. So I'm going to click cancel, and I'm going to go up here to this outline box that says select. I'm going to click that. I'm going to take this little thing here, and I'm going to crop, because it was not as wide, it was taller than it was wide. If I crop some of the horizontal off, or the vertical off, then I should get it closer to the right width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop some of this picture off the top and off the bottom, and that'll get my ratio closer to where I need it to be. So I'm going to put this right about here, and I'm going to drag this down, and I'm going to crop it right about here. Okay, yeah, so that's going to crop, and it's only going to keep what's in this outline here. So I'm going to get this much of the picture. Now once I've got that outlined with this select feature, then I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to click this crop button here, and that'll cut off what's not inside of the outline. So now that I've cropped the picture a little bit, we're going to go back up here to resize, pixels, and now we're going to try it again at 320 and see how much closer their horizontals got. Okay, so now the horizontal is at 243. So apparently I cropped just a little too much. And yeah, I went just a little too much. It's more than the 240. So I'm gonna go to cancel, and if you see way up here in the top corner, there's this little undo button. So I'm going to undo the last cropping, and then I'm going to try cropping it again. I'm going to use this select outline feature here, and I'm not going to crop it as much, but it's so close. I'm going to do it real close to what I did. So I'm going to do it right there. Now I'm going to back up here, click crop, and now I'm going to go to resize again, click pixels, put 320 in, so now we're at 229. So basically what you got to do is play around with the crop until you get this as close as you can to 240. So I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to crop, or actually I'm going to leave it where it's at. I'm not going to undo it, and I'm going to crop just a little bit more off of there, because it's really close. So I'm going to go right about here, and I'm going to leave the bottom the same. Let's see where that gets me. I'm going to hit crop, resize, pixels, 320. Okay, it's not liking that either, so it's getting real close. One more try. I'm going to crop some off this back tire here. Start right about there, and leave the front tire the same. I'm going to hit crop, resize, pixel, 320, and 233. That's close enough. I mean, you know, you're only talking about 7 pixels. That ought to be fine. That shouldn't be that noticeable. You just want to get as close as possible. You know, if it's like a good 20 pixels, it's kind of noticeable. But I'm thinking if you get them down to, if you get it under 10, that shouldn't be noticeable really. So now that I've got it resized as close as I care to mess with getting it, then I can click OK, and now it's resized to something that will fit on the vape box screen. Now what we need to do is we need to save the file, and we go to Save As. Now you want to save the picture as a BMP picture, which is a bitmap image. It has to be a BMP or it won't load. So we click this right here, and that gives me that will automatically save it as a BMP image. Now you want the file name to be the number of the picture you want it to be on. So I want this one to be my #1 picture, so I'm going to change the file name to 1, and it will automatically put the .bmp behind it. So by saving this with the file name 1, now here it is. Now this right here is ready to copy and paste to the micro SD card, and when the picture is the #1 picture is selected, this is the image that it will pull up. So I'm going to show you putting it onto the micro SD card here in just a second. Alright, let me plug this the micro SD card out of my vape box. I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to go down to File, and I'm going to open Removable, or double click on it. Now you can see I have 3 pictures already on my vape box, and they're all numbered 1, 2, 3, and it says right here that it's called a bitmap image. So these are all correct and working images on my vape box. So I'm going to delete #1 and replace it with the resized picture we just made. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to right click on it and go to delete. Now I'm going to replace it with this picture. So I'm going to right click this picture, I'm going to click copy, I'm going to right click on this removable disk, and I'm going to click paste. So now this #1 right here is the picture we just resized, and we'll see how it fits on the screen. So I can close this. I'm going to pull out the micro SD card, throw it into my vape box. You always have to pull the batteries out before you remove your micro SD card, and before you insert a micro SD card, because it does have the possibility of corrupting the data on the micro SD card if you remove it or put it in while it's powered up. So alright, I've powered up my vape box. I've got it set on #1. So I'm going to press the picture mode button, and there's the picture that we just resized. I don't know how good that shows up on the camera, but you can see you can't notice, but there is a little bit of blank screen, but you can't notice it at all, really. This turned out fine. Less than 10 pixels, you won't even notice it, basically. So that's how you resize a picture using Windows Paint, and put it on your vape box. Alright, this is how you resize a picture for your vape box using Linux. You need 2 programs that are on the Software Center, downloadable from the Software Center. And the 2 programs you need are Photox and Simple Image Reducer. Now, the Photox we're going to use to resize the image and crop the image. Now, the Simple Image Reducer we're only going to use to convert the image file to a BMP file. So we're going to start with resizing. So we're going to open Photox. Once you've installed that from your Software Center, and it will automatically update what image files are on your computer when you open it. So we're going to open the image file, and let's see, is it this one? Yeah. This picture of a motorcycle is what we're going to be working with. So now, as you can see, this picture is sideways. Now, because this picture is sideways, and the vertical of the screen on the vape box is 320 pixels, and the horizontal of the screen of the vape box is 240. So you want it 320 by 240. Now, if I go up on this Photox program, I go up to transform, then I can rotate the image, trim or crop the image, and resize the image. Everything I need is in this transform tag. So first, we're going to rotate it to the way that we want it to show up on the screen. So now, if I was to turn it this way, now as you notice, this image is wider than it is tall. So it's not going to work out for our vape box screen too well. If we were to put it on here, we would end up with a whole lot of blank screen on the top and the bottom, or the bottom. So this image I'm going to put on the vape box screen sideways, and I want to put it on the screen this way. So I'm going to click done. So now, once you've rotated the picture to the way you want it to show up on the screen, then you need to resize it. So we go to transform, resize image. Now we're only worried about pixels, not percent. So we're going to work on the pixel side. We want it to have a height of 320 and a width of 240. And make sure locked aspect ratio is checked. So we're going to just change the height to 320 and see what that gives us. And click done. So now we're going to go back up to resize image, and you can see that the width is only 213, and we need that width to be closer to 240, because if we were to leave it like this, we would have some blank screen along the sides of the picture. So to get this closer to 240, what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to undo. So we're going to undo the resizing, and we're going to, because the height is more than the width, we're going to crop off a little bit of the vertical, the top or the bottom, and that should get our ratio to be closer to where we need it. So we'll go to transform, trim image, and we move this box to where we want to trim it. So we're going to trim that much off the top, and let's trim a little more off the top, and that much off the bottom, and that should get our ratio a little better. So we'll just click done. So now that cropped the picture. Now we're going to go back up to resize, and we're going to put 320 in here, and we're going to click done, and then we're going to go back up to resize and see where it's at. So it's 235 out of 240. Now I found that anything under 10 pixels is close enough. You know, so we're only at 5 pixels away from being exact. So anything under 10 pixels, yes, it will leave 10 pixels worth of black screen along the sides of your picture, but that's anything under 10 is not really noticeable and not worth messing with. I could sit here and recrop it until it gets to be perfectly 320 and 240, but I found that if it's under 10 it doesn't matter. So we're going to keep it just the way it is at 235 by 320, and now we have resized this picture to fit on the vape box. So now we'll save it as a new file, save to a new file, and we're going to just click save. Wait, I'm not sure what that is. Alright, save to new file. We'll give it a new name. Oh, don't want to cut off the JPEG. We'll just call it new. Save. Alright, so now we've cropped and resized the picture and got it as close to 240 by 320 as we can. Now we are going to open the resized picture using Simple Image Reducer. Now these aren't the default settings. You need to change the fit to no change, and rotate to no rotate. Output files, I just got this append clicked. I'm not sure what that even does. And then the main part is you want the output format to be BMP because we need it to be a bitmap image. So now we're going to open the file, pictures, and we named it new. So here's new JPEG. This is the picture that after we resized it. We'll add that. And then no change, no rotate, output format BMP. We click execute. So if we go to pictures, here's our new. This is the one that was resized. And after you use the last program we did to change it to a BMP, it just puts a dash modified in the name. So this is the resized and converted to a BMP image. So to put it onto our vape box, here, let me pull the battery out of my vape box and pull the micro SD card out of it. You always want to have the batteries taken out when you remove or install your micro SD card, because you run the chance of corrupting the data. So my removable disk here, the SD card, you can see I've got 3 working pictures on my vape box here, and they're all BMP images named 1, 2, 3, and so on. So whatever number of picture you've got selected on the vape box, it will load up the one that has a corresponding name of 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to delete this picture, and we're going to replace it with the picture that we just resized and converted. So we're going to go back to pictures, and it's this new modified.bmp. That's the one we just finished. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that into here. Now we need to rename this file, and I want this to be the number 1 picture, so I'm going to rename it 1, and there we go. So if I got the picture settings on to the number 1 picture and I click picture mode, it will load up this picture. And that's all you got to do. Just make sure to take the batteries out before you remove or install the SD card, or you may corrupt the data. And that's how you do it. Resize a picture and convert it to BMP using Linux. These 2 programs, Simple Image Reducer and Photox, they are both on the Software Center, and that's how I found to do it. There's probably better ways, but you know, that's the way I found to do it real quick, so that's how you do it.